Marc, who is I'll let you go ahead and do your title. I believe you are the owner of Stream and the owner of Stream on SharePoint. So really excited to learn from you today.
Awesome. Hello, everyone. So my name is Marc Mroz. I'm a product manager on the Microsoft Stream team. So I'm from the product group engineering team. We build, run, own Microsoft Stream. I've been working in the enterprise video space for a long time. So anything video related as part of Microsoft 365, I probably was the cause of or problem to that thing. So thank you, and I'm sorry, both at the same time. And so today we're going to go over Stream on SharePoint. And so I wanted to show a bunch of things today in terms of give you a little bit of an overview of what Stream on SharePoint really is. A lot of this we did show off at Ignite, but I know that not everyone kind of saw it. So I'm going to go through a couple of those slides, and then I'll jump into doing demos of the system itself. And then I'm guessing that there'll still be time, and so we can go over any questions that folks have if there are specific questions. And so these statistics are a little bit out of date now, but you can see that videos inside of M365 are pretty massive. So these statistics are old. I bet the numbers are even higher now, but like 1.8 billion videos uploaded to SharePoint, OneDrive, Teams, Yammer is a lot of videos in the system. And when we compare Stream Classic to Stream on SharePoint, again, this was many months ago, it was 3, almost 4 times more that videos were watched more often. And so as we're making the switch from Stream Classic to Stream on SharePoint, don't be worried, because tons and tons of videos are already in the new system. So if we take a look and we look at what Stream Classic was, or if you're not using Stream Classic and you're using some other enterprise video solution, some other third-party enterprise video solution, how does that work, and how does that compare to what we're building as part of Stream on SharePoint? So Stream Classic and other third-party enterprise video solutions are really kind of siloed, right? Stream Classic was on its own. It had its own user experience. It had its own data processing and management. It had its own place to store video and audio files, all completely siloed on its own. And then, sitting to the side of it was M365. Which has its own set of versions of these things and tons of capabilities that are available to you if you put files into Microsoft 365. And our really only connection we had between Stream Classic and M365 is between embeds and links. There's no connection on any of this core file storage or processing or management or any of those sorts of things. And so we did our best with Stream Classic to kind of make it work within the M365 ecosystem, but it really was siloed on its own. And that kind of leads to low usage, low awareness, siloed management, and it's really kind of tricky to kind of share videos. And the same could be true for another enterprise video solution. But what we're bringing with Stream on SharePoint is bringing Stream into the fold with the rest of M365. So that means here at the very bottom, where you see OneDrive and SharePoint storage, video files and audio files are there. So we're bringing the core storage of all video content into OneDrive, SharePoint, Teams, Yammer, where all other files are stored. And that gives us a ton of capabilities. That gives us, those capabilities that we have in that middle tier here with the same sharing, the same commenting, the same Microsoft search, the same intelligence, the same data processing and management, all those things that work for other files, now we can leverage for video files as well. And then because of that same data processing and management, that means we have things like information governance, legal hold, retention policies, DLP policies, those sorts of things work for video files, where in Stream Classic, or if you're using a third-party enterprise video solution, you can't leverage all of those sorts of things. And now the same permissions apply to audio and video files, the full file lifecycle management, and even APIs now work because we're putting video files into OneDrive and SharePoint. So a question we often get is, what about the single video portal that folks had with Stream Classic, or even your third-party enterprise video solution? Well, when we looked at the traffic that was going to Stream Classic, we saw that 83% of the traffic was from direct links to a single video, an embed of that video or embed of a channel into other locations. And so you had direct links and embeds, and that was 83% of the traffic that was going to Stream Classic. So then the other traffic breaks down where 12% of it was going to directly navigating to a group or directly navigating to a channel. And then only 5% was kind of coming to that home page of Stream Classic. And so in most cases, this concept of a single video portal where this is my hosting of service of all my videos didn't really work out. People were treating it more as a hosting service where they were pulling the content, putting it into Stream Classic, pulling the content out and putting it into other locations. And so they really were navigating, most of the traffic was coming from direct links or from embedding into other locations. So that's what we're actually doing right now with Stream on SharePoint is we're matching this actual traffic breakdown that you had and building a better solution on top of SharePoint and OneDrive directly. So what does that actually mean? It means that you create or upload your videos directly in M365 now. You take those video files and you upload them to OneDrive or to Teams or to Office or to Yammer or to SharePoint directly. And when you upload those videos directly in those locations, we allow the Stream app to allow you to enhance those videos on top of it. So you get things like transcripts and chapters and comments and notes and analytics and intelligence and video metadata because we are taking care of all the video files that are in that same place that you store other individual files. And then that allows you kind of consume those videos anywhere in Stream, but it doesn't have to be in Stream. It could be in SharePoint and OneDrive and Teams and Yammer and Office. And you're able to kind of get at all of those sorts of things. And so this is kind of a look at what we're calling the Stream web app on web and then the Stream mobile app. And what it really means is that Stream becomes the video-centric home base for all of M365 to find, to watch, to enhance, or to record videos. And then that puts us at much more of a peer with Word, PowerPoint, Excel, the other Office apps. Now there is an Office app for dealing with video. And so that's the kind of bigger picture of where we're headed with Stream on SharePoint. And a ton of what I just talked about is available to you right now if you upload your video files to OneDrive, Teams, SharePoint, and Yammer. So I'm going to jump out of this deck and instead I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to walk through a bunch of live demos. So I'm going to jump over here and I assume that everyone will be able to see my screen here in 1 second.
Yep, we sure can. Awesome. There is a question. I was looking for the link. I know we used to have it, but is there a table of feature parity of Classic Stream versus New Stream?
Yes, there is. So here is the updated help docs. If you go to the help docs and you go to this section on features and roadmap, and when you go into that section, if you scroll down towards the bottom of this page, this is listing out all the things you can do already today. And then in this section, there is this detailed feature comparison to Stream Classic. I'll just copy this link really quick and paste it into the chat. And so if you go and you look at that and you click this, it actually loads a pretty big spreadsheet. And that spreadsheet actually goes through, oh, it didn't open in a new tab, but it gives you a giant spreadsheet of all the things comparing Stream Classic to Stream on SharePoint. And I just updated it in the last few days, so it should be accurate for you to take a look at.
Perfect. Would you like one more question or do you want to continue?
Sure. Yeah, I see channels and playlists similar to what available on Classic Stream. Hold that question. I'll get to it in a few seconds and I'll cover kind of that playlist and channel section in a second. All right, I'm going to continue and then we can jump back to some questions in a few seconds. So if you click on the app launcher, so if you go to the app launcher and you find Stream in the list and you click on it, this is what the new, what we're calling the Stream start page. So this isn't a video portal, like Stream Classic was, you have to think of Stream Start Page as different. It's a start page like all the other Office or M365 apps have. So there's a start page for PowerPoint. Look, it looks very similar to ours. There's one for Word. It looks very similar to ours. If you go to the Stream Start Page, it's a way to filter down all the videos that you are recently accessed, people shared with you, people commented, someone sent you an email with it. It's getting back to your video files, the same way PowerPoint Start Page helps you get back to your PowerPoint files. And it has the ability for you to favorite, see your recently opened, some lightweight recommendations. You can filter. We're enhancing this search box, so it'll do a video search in the future. And this is a really simple way for you to get back to video files that are related to you. And so if you click on one of these videos, you open up what we're calling the Stream Web App. And the Stream Web App is just kind of a video player page. And this video player page has a bunch of really cool enhancements that we've added on top of it. So you can do things like set the title of the video. You can set a description for the video. So you can see here, I added a hyperlink. I can have bullets. I can have underline. I can kind of set all of those things directly as the title and description for the video. And then we have what we're calling chapters. Chapters are a way to break up the video into a bunch of different parts. So here, if I wanted to see what was, this longer video, but I wanted to jump to the CEO top of mind section, I could just click that and then start playing from there. Or if I wanted to see the engineering updates, I could just jump to there and start playing that section of the video. So these are manually entered for regular video on demand. If you happen to have the Teams Premium license and you're doing a Teams meeting recording, chapters get auto-generated based off of what was said in the meeting and off of what you present in PowerPoint Live. So that comes with Teams Premium. It auto-generates these chapters for you. But for any other video file you upload, you can manually set the chapters yourself. It's really simple. You just scrub to a specific point in the video and hit New Chapter, and then you can type that title for that section. We also have support speech to text transcripts. So here I just went to video settings. I went into here to transcripts and captions. There was a button that said generate. I clicked generate and it auto created that transcript for me. I could also upload transcript and caption files in the VTT format directly from here. I can upload multiple of them. And then that transcript is searchable. So if I wanted to search for Mark 8, you can see that we highlight this section at 218, or if I hit next, I can see at 733, Mark 8 was also mentioned. And so I can run these searches really easily directly from the transcript pane. I can also edit the transcript directly from here if I needed to edit the transcript itself. Comments, we've also kind of up-leveled comments directly into the Stream Web App player page. So similar to having comments in Word, PowerPoint, Excel, you can do that directly from a video as well now. You can see that there's @mentions, I can like comments, I can do inline replies, I can add new ones, and it works very similar to any commenting that you would see in another Office app. In addition, we added analytics. This one rolled out, I think, within the last couple of weeks. And so it shows you analytics that we've had available for a while, but now it's directly here on the player page. So I can see a trend of unique users, viewers, or total views for my video. And I can kind of see a trend of this over time. This graph is a little lacking since I uploaded this video just this morning to prepare for the demo. And then overlaid on the video, you can actually see which part of the video was viewed. So you can see in here, 100% of the people watched within the first 4 seconds, but then there's kind of a drop off. They spiked at some specific parts. Maybe they were clicking on chapters or there was something really interesting. And then towards the end, only about 29% of the people watched towards the end here. So that all is available to you right here and right now. Other video settings that you can actually do, you can set the thumbnail for a video. So you can upload a specific image if you wanted to make your own thumbnail, or you could actually say, well, actually, I want the CEO talking here. So I can edit the thumbnail and I can say, select this frame. And it just takes an image right from the video and makes the thumbnail that video right there. This is where you manage transcripts and chapters, as I mentioned. So you can turn those on and off. I can turn on and off chapters. I can turn on and off comments. We also have a concept of noise suppression. that allows you to default it, or the user, if the user doesn't want to hear the background music that's distracting while they're watching, they could suppress that noise suppression. Or if you uploaded a video and it has a lot of mouse clicking or something, or keyboards, you can hit this noise suppression and it just removes that from it. And then you have your basic features on the player, closed captions, playback speed. Just in the last couple of weeks, we added playback speed all the way from 0.5 to 2x for all video files in OneDrive and SharePoint. Before, it was only for team meeting recordings. Now it's available for all video files. So this is a kind of a look at what a single video looks like. Well, the question in the chat was, well, what if I want to actually group things together, and kind of what Stream Classic had as a channel or a playlist? How do I do that? So I'll walk through kind of what that looks like now. So right from the stream start page, there is this place here. If you click the little drop down, you can say make a new playlist. Or if you were in SharePoint and you made a list, the playlists that we built are built on Microsoft List. So you could do it from SharePoint, you could do it from the List app, you could do it directly from here. Or you could even start adding videos to a playlist right here from the player page. So what does one of those playlists look like? So this is a playlist in action. In this case, I put it into my SharePoint site, the landing. And you can see it looks like a Microsoft list, except it has this really fancy player view, where as I click through each of these individual videos, it puts the player right there where I can actually play those videos directly in line. So the way that it works is I just go up into add new item here. It asks me where I want to add the video from what site. So I don't have to pick videos all from one site. I can pick them from many sites. So in this case, I'm going to keep in the landing. I say videos here and say maybe I want to add this Steam partnership video. I hit select, and it just adds that video directly onto the playlist. And then now people can play that video directly in line here. So this version that we have of playlists is rolling out right now. I think most of you will have it available. It's probably not in the GCC and higher environments, but worldwide normal production has it. And it is this just simple list where you would send people a link directly to the playlist itself. We're working on making this embeddable in SharePoint sites and via a web part right now. That's not available right now. And then the way that permissions works is that's often the next question that folks ask is how do permissions work? Well, you have to upload your video files to a SharePoint site, so there's the permission of the file. And when you add the video, you're really just adding it into a list. So if I go to this other view, you can see it's just a normal list. And so I can add my videos into the list. So I will need permission to the video first and also to the playlist. If I'm in any of the views and I click the video and I don't have access, there will be a little request access right from here. Andrea asked, are the playlists user specific, or can I, as an admin, create playlists for people? They're Microsoft lists. So if you have access to a SharePoint site, you can make a list in that SharePoint site, and then that would be anyone can manage and have access to it. Lists have two modes. They have lists tied to a site, and then they have My List. My Lists are more personal. They're stored kind of in your personal space, similar to your OneDrive. But if you make a list for a site, then anyone can do it, and anyone can have access to it. Is there any way to get chapters to open automatically in this player view? I'm guessing you're asking about in the playlist view. That is not supported. In this view here, if you have chapters set, they automatically open by default. So in the regular player view, they will open if they exist. In the playlist view, unfortunately, we don't have a setting for that, but that's really good feedback that we could take that says, oh, your video has chapters in it already. This one is one that has chapters. Could we have those open by default in the playlist view? So that's something we can consider. So playlist is kind of new. It's one way to kind of group videos together and show them off. Well, what's another way that you can group those videos together? Because we're building videos directly into OneDrive and SharePoint, all the web parts that are existing work. A bunch of those work already today for video files. So you can build really amazing video destinations on top of SharePoint modern pages with web parts. So you can see here, this is Contoso's landing page. So this is their intranet homepage. There's videos here. There's stuff showing from the company feed. There's a single video here. There's a recommended viewing over here. So you can build these, and I'll walk through how you kind of set these up in a second. But I wanted to show you, because this is SharePoint, if you're using Viva Connections, all of this can be inside of Teams. So here I'm inside of Teams and I'm on the Viva Connections app. That same homepage exists here. So now you can feature videos as part of your intranet and have that show directly inside of Teams. So here, this is the hero web part, same hero web part that people have used for many years. But now if you add a video to it, it automatically pulls the thumbnail, it shows a play button, it shows the title, it shows the duration. And if I click on this video, it'll play that video directly in line inside of Teams. So you can watch these videos directly inside your intranet homepage. You can watch them directly inside of Teams if you're using Viva Connections. So that's one way that you can kind of get videos to be featured in other locations. Another way is to use the Viva Company feed. If you haven't tried out or used the Viva Company feed, I would encourage you to go take a look at it. It pulls SharePoint News, it pulls Yammer posts, Viva Engage posts directly into there. And there's a feature in there that on org news sites, you can actually feature a video news link, is what they call it, a video link. And if you insert one of those into there, it shows up in the feed. You can schedule when it shows up. Corporate comms teams can boost it. And when you click on one of those videos, it just launches, opens up that video page directly for you to go ahead and watch. And so it's a really cool way to kind of get a comms-driven way to kind of push out news and push out video. Another web part that we have is this file viewer web part. So this is, I think we're going to rename the file viewer web part to be called File and Media, so that you know that the media and video can be pushed into this. But this will just play the video directly in line. So it's just grabbing an embedded version of the player, sticking it in line, but it's just using within inside that whole web part ecosystem. And then the final web part I'll call out is this is the hero web part. So the highlighted content web part. The highlighted content web part is super flexible. You can use it to pull videos across many different sites. You can pull it to pull videos just from one site. You can have it pull from multiple libraries. It's kind of very search-driven thing. And when you have it filtered down to just show videos, videos show up here with the thumbnail, with the title of the video, and then you click them, they will just launch and open the video file itself. But you can even kind of say, well, here, just show me trending videos. So recommended viewing, ones that many people have been watching within my organization, it'll pull those ones up to the top. And if you click See All, you stay within Teams, and you can see bigger expanded versions of the cards of these, and people could navigate. And so you can set up a bunch of different experiences for kind of featuring these videos directly. And then you can kind of jump back to it. So I'm going to switch on this topic of kind of featuring videos. I'm going to switch back to my slides because I have a couple of demo videos that I wanted to show that actually show how Microsoft has been using these same experiences. That's often a question that we ask, that people ask is, you know, how is Microsoft using these same tools? And so we have a couple of short videos that I'm going to show you of how we're doing that. So let me switch back to my PowerPoint deck as well. And we'll try to get to a bunch of the questions in a second here. So if I jump and I show this, so hopefully this little video will start playing for all of you, where you can actually see what we're calling outside in. So this is a real SharePoint site from inside of Microsoft. We invite people from the community, people from industry, people, celebrities to come and present internal to Microsoft. And we run these all as live events. And then they present all of these videos as recordings right within inside of a SharePoint site, the outside in site. So the way that they built this is they're actually using SharePoint News so that news can bubble up to our intranet homepage. And so as we go into here to the site contents, you can see that the video files are just uploaded to the document library itself. And then they create a little news article to wrap each one of those video files. And then they can use the SharePoint News web part to show each one of these when the live event is coming and when the past one is there. And so then you can actually see these and click one of those videos and it just launches the video player page for those individual videos. So we're finding a lot of use inside of Microsoft of how to leverage the fact that these are video files in OneDrive and SharePoint, the fact that News works with it, the fact that web parts work with it, and we can build some really cool experiences around it. One of the other examples I want to show you here is from Jeff Teeper. I assume a lot of people know his name. He's kind of the founder and creator of SharePoint. He runs the entire Teams org now. What he does is he creates a little video every week. He calls it Jeff's Fast Friday Updates. And he publishes them out on his own SharePoint site and makes a news article for each of those. And he really just kind of records himself talking for 5 minutes, explaining what he did this week, what's top of mind, what are important things for his org of many hundreds of people. And then he pushes those out in news. He puts them in Viva Engage so that people can kind of watch that. And so he's using this medium of video and the technology to push these things out with news and Viva Engage and email to find a way to connect with people. He runs a pretty big team, and people who have watched these videos really find it useful to hear what their leader has going on. And so we're finding a really cool set of use cases as we see people leveraging all these capabilities as much as they can. So with that, I think I'll pause and maybe try to catch up on some questions here. And if there is other things that we want to kind of jump in and talk as people ask questions, we can kind of do so. I'll put up here a bunch of our links. We do have kind of customer office hours. So if you like having these kind of presentations, if you just want to ask me more questions beyond this thing, sign up for the Customer Connect, Stream Connect. The roadmap is there. You can ask questions on the forums. We have ideas that you can vote on. And then we know there is a big migration to move from Stream Classic to Stream on SharePoint. And so all of that documentation is kind of going there. So I'll pause here and try to read back up chat. I'll ask this first question. Are there any plans to release an advisor to identify what content to migrate to the new stream based on usage and consumption? Yeah, let me jump over and share my screen again and show the help documentation. So on that question, if you go into our help docs and you go to aka.ms/stream migration, and if you go there, we have a ton of help docs that kind of explain through how the migration is going to work and kind of what you need to know about it. So if you scroll down, there's an entire summary on the timeline. So keep note, like coming up May 15th, we're going to block videos unless you click a button to take action to delay that. You can delay it to August. Some improvements to the migration tool are coming. Then in August, no new videos will be uploaded. Live events shut down in September, and then October, you won't be able to have access anymore to Stream Classic at all unless you delay that change to February. And then February 15th is when Stream Classic fully retires and it's no longer available. But on the migration front, how to actually run those. If you go into the migration tools over here, there's a bunch on adoption strategies, there's a bunch on concepts, and there's over here, if we go into this concepts, I think it's under details. Let me jump to this one. There's this Stream Classic video report. So if you haven't looked at this page, and started running this report, it's a big giant CSV file that outputs every single video into the entire system and gives you a bunch of information about like created, when it was uploaded, last view date. We tracked this since July, number of views, number of likes, who owned it, what container it goes to. So this giant inventory report outputs giant CSVs that you can see all of the content in the system. And then we also built, so it looks something like this. And then we also built this Power BI desktop report. So if you download this Power BI desktop report right here, you can download a Power BI desktop and then download our template. And it'll generate this with all of these different tabs. There's like 5 different tabs. It goes into excruciating detail of all the content in Stream Classic and helps you make decisions on how you can migrate stuff and kind of what is the right way to kind of go forward with that. So hopefully that answered that question. I'll jump to Jason's next question around Clipchamp. Some users are confusing Stream with Microsoft's Clipchamp acquisition. They're asking if Clipchamp will eventually become the video editing software people should use and stream videos in the future. will be getting its own set of editing capabilities. Can you talk a bunch about that? And then there was also a question someone asked about trim that I saw scroll by as I was presenting. So yes, Microsoft acquired the company Clipchamp. Clipchamp makes a really amazing video editor. So if you go to clipchamp.com, you can see all of the cool capabilities of the video editor as it exists today. And it allows you to do a really cool bunch of stuff. However, it is a consumer tool at this moment in time. We've said at Ignite, we've said publicly a bunch all over the place that Clipchamp will be coming to enterprise. And so basically what we're doing is we're rebuilding a version of Clipchamp consumer, but making it inside of OneDrive and SharePoint so that the Clipchamp project file is saved in your SharePoint site or your OneDrive. As you add video files in, they're uploaded to your OneDrive or your SharePoint site folders. You can pull them in together. And then you'll be able to export a full video out of Clipchamp as a net new video. So Stream will still exist as a product. Clipchamp will be the video editor. There'll be links between video and OneDrive and SharePoint, or even in our player page that allows you to like edit that video directly in Clipchamp. Timeline wise for Clipchamp, we're hoping, this is like, I know this is a public forum, it's not a promise, but our goal internally is to have a kind of a preview version of it mid-year sometime, and hopefully have a general availability version of Clipchamp for Enterprise towards the end of this calendar year. So that's what our team is sprinting towards, to kind of bring Clipchamp into the enterprise. And then there's the question on like trim. Stream Classic had this concept where you could just easily go to a video and trim the head and tail of the video. We're working on that for Stream as well, where once Clipchamp comes, it'll be the full video editor if you need to do all the kinds of things. But if you need to make a simple, lightweight head and tail trim or just remove something in the middle, we're looking at adding kind of a trims or a cuts section right here in Stream, where you could easily just go and it will be metadata based. It won't be a hard trim, it'll be a soft trim. Mark up, remove, hide this section, hide the middle section, hide the end section, and then viewers would only be able to see the video with those sections hidden. But you as an editor would always be able to see the full video. So we're also working on that. I can't give you a timeline on trim because we haven't fully started writing all the engineering code for it. So as we get going, we have a PM spec and a design spec for it. As we start writing engineering code, we'll hopefully be able to put it on the public roadmap and give you a time frame for that. Yeah, the list view. So on lists, so if we go back and look at the list, it does default, like if you shared a link to this list, or by default, it gives you this player view instead of the like all items list view. But if you embed this with the list web part or trying to add this into Teams tab, it does default to this view instead of the player view. That's something we're looking to improve right now, so that you can embed and put with the like web parts this player view. We know that that was not great in our initial version, so we're actively working on that as fast as we can. There's another question on, can you see who has watched your video? SharePoint has had this kind of hidden feature for a long time, and it works for video files. So if you go to our analytics section here on the left of our docs, you can see there is this who watched a video. If you click that, it'll take you into this document that explains how to enable this. So there's a special setting in OneDrive and a special setting in the site. If you enable this special setting, which is called, the feature is called SharePoint Viewers, and you activate that, then when you hover over a document card, like in the document library for a video file or any file for that matter, it'll show you this little people who access your file. So that already works today for video files as well as any file in SharePoint and OneDrive. We did not pull and show that little people at the bottom here. Maybe that's something, if you have that setting enabled, we should put it here. So that's feedback that we can take. So next question, and Michelle, tell me how much longer we have to go for questions so we can cut this long or short, however you want. The next question is migration tool. It seems to be working well for me. The one thing I have not been able to figure out is what happens to a user recording. All users can be migrated to the OneDrive file, but I don't have a way to know about termed users or recordings. I'm not quite sure what termed users means. Maybe is that someone who left the organization? Today, the migration tool doesn't allow people who left the organization. We call that orphaned content, but that's coming in June. The migration tool will discover the orphaned content, or the termed users as you're referring to it, come June. And in June, all that orphaned content will show up as one big bucket in the migration tool, and you can choose to leave it or migrate all that orphaned content in one big go to some SharePoint site. And then a question, do those dates that I showed on this, if I go back, the dates for the timeline, do those apply to GCC? No, they do not. Those dates are for everyone worldwide. GCC, we have not set any retirement dates for you because the migration tool is not available yet in GCC. So we need to first launch the migration tool, and then these retirement dates, you would get a similar time frame, but not this specific one. We would start the clock whenever that migration tool shows up. The reason it's not there yet is because we're built on top of the migration manager. I don't know if any of you know the migration manager in SharePoint, or what was called Mover. That Mover got acquired and we were rebuilding it in as the migration manager. We're built on top of that. Migration manager is not yet deployed to GCC. And so therefore our stream migration can't kind of come yet for that. Who watched the video is not limited to site owners. Once you turn that setting on that I showed, it's available to everyone. Yes, the link for, someone wanted the link for how to, so I'll go just this analytics page, I'll drop it in. And you can, sorry, not that page, the analytics page, I'll drop this into the chat, but you can see then the who watched the video is in there, so you can go kind of look at that. There is a question about Stream and Power Pages. Steve, did you want to come off of mute and ask about that?
Yes. Can you hear me all right?
Yep.
So we're trying to help some of our Power Pages people put videos on their pages. No problems with YouTube and the like. We've been trying to do it with Stream, and it looks like it only works with Stream Classic at this point, and I was looking for confirmation, and if so, when Stream Modern might be available.
So I don't know if Power Pages leverages a bunch from Power Apps. Power Apps supported Stream Classic and does not yet support videos in SharePoint, Stream on SharePoint. So I don't know what happened with Power Pages. But in general, both Stream Classic and Stream on SharePoint don't support public anonymous. So I don't know, are these Power Pages external or are they internal?
That's a good question. They are internal.
Okay.
The anonymous is an issue. We've been successful working with Stream and Power Apps. It's Power Pages because of the nature of the portal. Okay. On the Power Pages side, I'll have to connect with those folks. I had none of them have come knock on my door, so I don't know the details of when or if they would do it. Power Apps, I know that they are working on rebuilding their video control to support videos in OneDrive and SharePoint. Power Pages folks, I don't know. We do support generic grabbing and embed code. So like here, you can say grab embed code. So I went to share at the top, and then I said embed code. And so this is just a normal iframe. So if Power Pages support iframes, I would imagine that they could support videos in SharePoint as well. Maybe there's a better integration that we can build, but if they just at least at minimum supported the iframe, that would be a path forward maybe. Right, and that's what we're doing right now. And if an anonymous user doesn't have access to the embed, then we've got a message goes up saying that there's a permissions thing. But yeah, we were looking to see if there was a seamless option.
We do not support anonymous embed codes on Stream Classic or on SharePoint at all today. The embed codes all need direct access permissions. The only thing that is net new is if you click share, you can have an anonymous link, but a link, so here in this environment, I have anyone with a link. And so like, I could switch that from anyone to a company shareable link to specific people. So if I use this anyone link and, said, oh, I only want it to be can view, I could set a password, I could, turn block download on. And if I hit apply and copied this link, anyone would be able to view this video directly now, but you have to navigate through the link. So we do not have embed version of public anonymous. We are thinking about how that might work in the future, but there's obviously cost if you're embedding things and it's on a .com website and all that sort of stuff. So we're thinking through how that could work in the future. So public anonymous and embed codes is something we're thinking about.
Thank you.
Cool. Yes, player support keyboard shortcuts, play, pause. Yes, that's all supported. I think if you click here on the gear and you click keyboard shortcuts, it gives you an entire breakdown of what all of the keys are that work for that sort of thing. So yes, that's already there.
Hey,
Yeah,
Mark, there was one from Eileen that kind of continued as far as the orphan users. Is there any way right now to be able to understand how much orphan content you have out there from a video, or is that just what's coming here in the next iteration?
Yeah, so if you go to the detail, I think it was on this details section here, and you go and you look at this and you run this inventory report, the inventory report does have a the user, and so the user and the container will be empty. So when you run the migration, this inventory report, and or use the Power BI desktop report, it will tell you all of the things that are blank for a user or container. And if that's the case, then it's an orphan piece of content, and you can't migrate it until we enhance the tool in June. The only way to work around it would be to find those pieces of video and then add a new owner as an M365 group or a new user as an owner to that.
Perfect. Thanks, Mark.
Okay, unless there, I don't know, is there anything else that I missed into the chat that anyone wants to ask a question? Or is there anything else you want to go to? Otherwise, I guess we can conclude. Ryan asks, do I have any tips for putting specific training topic videos automatically in a particular order on a SharePoint page? Let me see how, so the playlists option, you could choose to kind of use a playlist and send the playlist out to folks. Today, this playlist view doesn't show a way to sort, but if you switch to the all items view and you added a column, you could easily add a column like a number column, and then you could go in and fill out that. So here I could add order. And so then I could do that, and then I could go on this and say edit and say this order column, I want this to be 1. And then I'll go down over here and I'll say edit on this, and I want this one to be 2. And so I can do that. And then on the playlist view, I could, it still didn't respect my order, you can see here. But if I say edit current view, unfortunately, this kicks you into the old classic UI. But I could say sorted by created. I could say created by duration, ID. And so I think, where's my item that I created? Order is what I called it. So I can say order it by that. And I could say, OK. And now when it takes me back to this, oh, I have it in the inverse order. If I flip the inverse order, you can see that 1, 2 would show up. So that's one way, is kind of doing that. You could also do it as highlighted content web parts as well. So you could you get the exact order? I don't think you could get the exact order. So you could do that, or you could get the order through like a hero web part. This would show an order. Highlighted content web part wouldn't really give you order because that's not true. It does have a sort column. So highlighted content web part, you could point it at a folder, and then there is a sort by, and you could sort by that thing. So that would be some of the ideas that I would go for that. Yeah, so kind of answer that. So I hope that has been helpful. Again, lots of resources. If you go to our help documentation, there's lots that you can kind of learn and also I'll just put one more call out for our office hours. So if you enjoyed kind of asking these sort of questions, you want to go deeper with us either on the migration or just in general, if you go to aka.ms/streamconnect, you can sign up for our office hours, which is kind of multiple times a month, and literally we just show up and you can kind of ask questions and we'll answer you. So with that, I'll conclude. Thank you all for your time. Really appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Marc, for your time. I know it's a lot I know you're so busy with all the changes and the things you're doing. So we really appreciate you coming to our user group, providing us all this great data. And of course, anyone else follow up, go ahead and join the office hours if you have any questions going forward with Marc. With that, so thank you so much, Marc.